Meanwhile, Dan Duggan, who may not be as high a profile, is languishing in a jail in New South Wales for crimes that are not crimes in Australia, awaiting the possible extradition to the US. Robbie, how is Dan going and what happened to him?
Thanks, Kim. Well, to be frank, Dan's not going very well. There is no light at the end of the tunnel for Dan. This is a man who's never been charged with a crime in his life, not when he was an American, not since he's been an Australian citizen. He's certainly never committed any crime in Australia, yet he's been in a prison in Australia since November 2022, so over 3 years. And this morning I made a post for TikTok pointing out that yesterday was the 3rd anniversary of the hysterical Sydney Morning Herald headline, Red Alert, about China invading Australia within 3 years, Peter Harcher said. Well, that expired yesterday, and in the whole period of that fictitious war that never happened, Dan Duggan has been in prison in Australia. And we got involved because we felt that ultimately he's a victim of the kind of hysteria that headline reflected, and he would never get a fair trial. For those who don't know, Dan he's an American, a former Top Gun Marine pilot. He was naturalised on Australia Day 2012. And then in 2022, he was arrested on a 2017 American indictment for training that he gave to pilots in South Africa in 2012 after he was an Australian citizen. And some of those pilots were Chinese pilots. And so he was charged, like the indictment is, they want to charge him under an American law that covers trading with the enemy, essentially, that sort of thing. The thing is though, he's not covered by American jurisdiction because he was an Australian citizen. Also, at the time, the political climate was very different to 2022. There was no hysteria about war with China in 2012. 2 years later, Xi Jinping addressed our parliament. We'd signed a comprehensive and strategic partnership. From 2010 onwards, Australia was doing joint military exercises with China. So this is something that's been retrofitted to, in our view, make an example of him. And our government has played a role by applying, in order to justify his extradition, applying a 2018 law retrospectively to what the Americans have accused him of doing in 2012. So that it looks like it fits what's called dual criminality. The number one condition for extradition is dual criminality. It's got to be a crime in both countries, and that's how they're making this fit. They've destroyed our government by doing this to help the Americans in this case. It's not just Dan who's the victim. There's a family of 6 children and his beautiful wife, and they have been absolutely destroyed by this. And to me, it shows that if America is the government coming after you, our current governments will not protect you.